right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nameless Tri-Podcast. I am joined, as always, by Alpha Arcanek and our special guests, Mr. Noobtacular and ElStormeo, via satellite from the land down under. We've got Mr. Noobtacular, who is our resident veteran streamer, and ElStormeo, who is a software engineer. So he's going to bring some expertise to our podcast today. Go ahead and say hi, everybody.
G'day, how we going?
I hate for everybody to start talking at once.
Yeah,
Right.
I can't follow a good day, everybody, anyways. But let's be honest. Jesus. Hi.
All right, so we are going to be talking about, just the happenings and goings on in the gaming world and streaming world and things like that. I've got a few topics here for us to talk about. First up, let's get this out of the way since we had talked a little bit about it last podcast. EA, again in the news, getting fined in the Netherlands, I believe it is, 10 million euros. They're going to be taking 500,000 a week until they either get rid of their loot boxes not either, but until they get rid of their loot boxes in FIFA. What do you guys think? You think that's a step in the right direction or something else?
Well, you know what I think about loot boxes and everything else. I have a very tiptoey going into it. Regulation needs to happen with regulation. But I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say about it.
Loot boxes. Only loot boxes I talk about are the loot boxes I'm getting in Warzone. All right. The cheap loot boxes. No, seriously though, if I remember correctly, Battlefield, when they released the with their loot boxes and all the stuff related to that, we already knew it was going to go downhill. I mean, it's when you're already asking for money and then asking for money on top of money, it doesn't make sense. Leave it to the cell phones and the apps. Don't put it into the video games themselves because you're going to lose people at the end of the day.
I think you touched on it well last week as well by saying if it was something like Warzone or whatever where you can choose what you're buying rather than leaving it up to the randomness chance, those purchases are better than the loot boxes because you never guaranteed anything.
Right. Definitely. I'm totally in agreement with that. I think if for a free game, definitely loot boxes is not a bad idea. I understand it. It's a way to monetize. But if you're charging me $60 and then on top of that, you're charging me money to get random loot, I don't know. I can't.
Plus, it's not even good loot half the time. That's the worst part. I mean, it's just a slap in the face and a kick in the balls.
Oh yeah. So, the other thing I was wanting to talk about was, did you guys see the thing about the Google Stadia guy, Alex Hutchinson? Where he was saying that streamers should be paying royalties to the developers and to the producers of games because they're streaming content they do not own.
Yeah, somebody failed to realize what good marketing and advertising is. I mean, at the end of the day, why am I paying you to play your games that I already paid for and now you're getting free advertising from me by the fact that I'm playing the game? It makes no goddamn sense. I mean, I'm doing you a favor. Everybody's watching my stream. They're enjoying that game. And now they want to play with me on my sub Sunday. So they got to buy the game.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take that one personal at all.
Right. Alpha, you're another streamer. What do you think? What's your take on that?
No, I think they hit the nail on the coffin, nail on the head. It's free advertising for them. We are making people excited about something, just like Noob said, there have been people that have played games that I was like, I don't know what this is. Watching them play got me excited about it. I wanted to join them. So that's what I did.
Stormy, on the software side of things, what do you think? Because there's a lot of hard work that goes into that stuff.
I don't have a perfect opinion on it. At the end of the day, they're still getting money from selling the copies of their games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the in-app purchases. I agree 100% with Noob, though. Free advertising in the business world. Any advertising that you get is good advertising, be it bad press, good press. And it would kill their industry more than it would kill the streaming industry, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And Google and Stadia, even YouTube, were very quick to distance themselves from him and his opinion. In fact, they had Google made sure to let people know, because he had in his Twitter bio, he had creative director at Stadia as his bio. And they were very quick to point out, well, no, he's a creative director at a studio owned by Stadia. So he's not our creative director. And he changed his bio real fast.
He's the dude playing the dude that's the other dude that really ain't that dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of an expendable situation. So up next, Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine were delayed until next year. I believe first quarter next year, I think. Or no, maybe they were supposed to come out first quarter. I think they're getting pushed back to second quarter of next year. Either you guys excited for either of those games?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played either franchise. I'm a loser like that. But I have been watching some of my favorite streamers play some of the older Far Cries, and it's kind of hard not to want to get involved in it. But I can understand why everything's being pulled back. I mean, it's just like the movie industry as well. I mean, you want to hold on to things until you know you can actually make a profit off of it. And right now, I mean, there's no money to go around. We're waiting to see who the hell is going to be in the White House, much less where the money's coming from. Why would you release something that you're going to have to try to sell, and when that it's not there? There's not enough money for everybody to put that money into it. Makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think the industry is a little bit better off than the movie industry, because you can relocate people home and they can work on their computer still remotely. But that's still such a hard management task to make sure everyone's hitting those deadlines still. And I respect the fact that they're delaying it so they can put out a better project.
Alpha, your thoughts?
Any delays are usually good delays. Pushing it into a different quarter next year will give them time to work out any kinks or anything like that. But let's be honest, guys. Far Cry 6 is still Far Cry 5, Far Cry New Dawn, Far Cry freaking Primal 3, and Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey all mixed in to one. You play one, you play them all. You're just a different protagonist.
He's a fan. It's good to know.
Right.
Okay, so since you're going to call me out on a fan, we are going into Ubisoft. Oh my God, who's played an Ubisoft game and which one is like every other freaking one of them?
I mean, if you've played one Ubisoft game, you've played all Ubisoft games.
The only one that's different is Siege or Hyperscape. Those are the only two differences right there.
Yeah.
You play Ghost Recon Wildlands. They meld them, and it started probably with Far Cry 3. You know, if they can push this game a little bit further back and actually add a little bit more content than just throwing in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, okay.
Well, and also we're in this day and age where people are pushing stuff out faster. I mean, let's take Warzone, for example. I mean, it's one of the glitchiest games on the planet, and they keep taking our money and they keep updating a new season, but throwing in more glitches with that season and not fixing these glitches. And then I don't know how the hell these people find all these other glitches on top of the glitches that, make the game less playable. And then, or even, your fave, the Rogue Company, where, they release it and it's got its share of issues where, I mean, something as simple as being able to, party up properly, which is a very important part of that process to play that game, and it's not a very successful aspect of it. So, I mean, if you push it out sooner, I mean, sure, you get the exposure and you get the players, but how long do you have them for?
But sometimes that exposure is not good exposure.
Yes, my friend, yes. They'll never get me back.
Come on.
next season's
How can
released, I'm
Rogue
gonna have to
Company
play
earn
again.
your trust? I'm their new
Tripod,
spokesman.
he's like, you played 1 hour. Come on.
It was enough.
Yeah, look, I've already uninstalled it as well. Sorry, Tripod.
Oh man, I didn't even see you play it, bro.
I played with you once, man.
Oh,
Should be right.
oh. I want you guys to know how much that hurts my heart. All right. I know it seems like I'm kind of blasting through topics, but we're only going an hour today, and there's been a lot of news, so I'm trying to get everything covered. Let's talk about Cold War. First of all, is anybody excited for it? Yep, crickets. I knew it.
No, definitely sums it up.
Well,
I mean, they released the news about the Warzone integration, and it just seems like it's going to be fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I've got a little bit of extra info as far as like I am kind of excited for the campaign. I've heard that it's going to be a lot more player choice focused. You're going to actually, instead of being playing a pre-written character like you normally would in a Call of Duty game, you're going to have a character that you create that's going to have different perks and different stats and stuff that are going to affect your gameplay. Like, if you play as a fat dude, you're going to run slower and it's going to hurt. And then there's going to be different options and stuff, multiple endings. So depending on what kind of side missions you do or what you do in missions will determine, whether you get an intel for a certain side mission, which is going to impact what ending you get and things like that. So,
And you're saying this is in the campaign?
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool and all, except for the campaign only lasts so long. And let's be honest, anybody who plays any kind of Call of Duty is in there for the MP or the now Warzone. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, and the MP is listen, we all know that if you're going to play a Call of Duty game, it's an arcade game, style game. Okay.
Right.
The level of realism isn't quite there in that sense. But this version takes arcade to a different level, where to the point where it takes the actual fun out of the game. And that's the MP. We all still have to see what they're going to end up doing when they integrate to Warzone, which who knows? Maybe it'll help because maybe they'll be like, okay, we'll fix these issues before we actually add into our own issues. But at the end of the day, I mean, campaign is great and all, but what is that, 7-8 hours of your life, and then you're like, great, and then you've got a game that you don't want to play. And I'm the one who bought it early and got the big package, and I'm like, I'd just write that $100 off at this point.
Yeah, Call of Duty is definitely not going to have it's not going to be a 14-hour campaign. You know what I mean? They're trying to get people into their games as a service in the first place. So really the campaign is just kind of a draw to get people into the multiplayer and the Warzone. So understandable.
And with that said, they'll sell, they're going to make their money off it. And it's Call of Duty. It's got its staying power. And that's,
yeah, man. It's a Call of Duty game. That's probably the best way you can sum it up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here's I had a couple of weird game stories to go through. The director from Resident Evil and Mila Jovovich are working on a Monster Hunter World film. I don't know if you guys have played Monster Hunter World or any of the previous installments of Monster Hunter, but they are working on that currently. I think it's gonna be real weird.
isn't that her husband?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be, better because of that. I mean, let's be honest. She is a badass.
Oh, yeah.
She plays badass to the next level. We all appreciate what she can do. I mean, coming from Dazed and Confused days where she was just the chick in the car smoking the weed, you know what I mean, to what she did with Fifth Element, to what she does with the Resident Evil. I mean, I watched Resident Evil specifically just to see how bad she would kick someone's ass, and that's it. We all knew the storylines in the movies would never sync up with what was in the video games, which kind of sucked because we all love the games. But they have the monster thing down. So it might play out pretty well, actually, if you think about it. But I also never played the other games, so I really have no, horse in the race if you really think about it too.
Now, Alpha, I know you've played I know you've played Monster Hunter World. I don't know if you've played any of the other Monster Hunter games. What are your thoughts on this?
I am so glad that you asked. It has absolutely nothing to do with the game. It's just a movie based on a game. They all suck.
Yeah.
Look at it that way, though. Like, I'm excited for the Last of Us TV series in a sad way. Just because I fucking love Last of Us, and I think there's a lot of content there that you can expand upon. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's based on a game. They're not going to copy the game one for one. They're just going to take elements from the game.
Right. Well, and Netflix is doing an Assassin's Creed series, I believe.
Yeah, didn't that movie flop though? Like the one that was
The movie flopped, but I mean, you want it to be good. Like you want it so bad.
Things differently. Netflix, when they put stuff out, for the most part, unless it's something they bought into to put in, like a blockbuster video, you spend X amount of dollars just to fill your shelves. If it's something that is coming out of their production company, it tends to fit in the be really, really done well. So, I mean, that's a win right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, just look at the Witcher series. The Witcher series was awesome.
Yeah, but that's based on the book as well as the game.
Yeah,
they had that lore from the book already.
But at the same time, that's a series. You can fit a lot more lore and everything else in the series than you can in a movie. In a movie, you're throwing everything that you can and get as much action as you can in that movie. It loses its personality.
Truth. True, very true. And I mean, in the Assassin's Creed universe, there is a lot of extra stuff that was not in the games. There's a whole comic book series that they had on there about it and things like that. So there's like different eras that they could go through, feudal Japan, the Cold War Russia. There was a comic about that one, Assassins in Cold War Russia. So, I mean, there's just a really expansive universe of content that's available.
Well, I mean, if they go one movie specifically based off of one era and then it does well, that gives them the opportunity to go ahead and create a second movie off of a different era as well. So, I mean, if I were, and I used to work in the industry, but if I were a producer and I picked up that product, and if I wasn't going to do a series of it, that's exactly how I would approach it, because of the fact that it is a lot of era-based stuff. So if you're not going to sit there and go, okay, we're going to focus on this specific era and go here, at least now you have multiple stories to tell in the movie aspect based off of that kind of setup. So, I mean, there's ways they can play with it for sure. I think it still would be done well, actually. It'll be worth watching for sure.
Am I going to watch it? Yes, I'm totally going to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to watch Diablos try to fuck up Milla. But still.
Oh, yeah. We feel you, bro. We feel you.
we feel
My desktop audio is clipping. I think that might just be Zoom being a piece of shit.
Cool, remembers Blood Rain.
Dude, why would you even say that?
Come on, man.
There are some things you just don't mention. Oh my god.
How many video game movies, like, yeah, Witcher is a series and everything, it was good. Sonic the Hedgehog was a good movie. I like that movie. But man, they're far and few between. Like,
they just it's you know what, it's because now video games are movies.
Yeah.
And it's hard to take something that you can fit over 8, 9, 10 hours in a video game, even longer, into maybe 2 hours max, and have that coverage, which is what you were saying. Instead they got to punch in the action. I mean, do we even want to talk about Warcraft? I mean, there's just it's just too many things that you can't fit into it, and it's already been done in the game anyways, that you could never compete. Like with a book, you can make it happen because it's not visual. The story isn't already being told to you in a visual aspect, where you're competing against a video game that can cover an X amount of time. there's, I mean, the odds of it actually being well done in that kind of, it's just tough. It really is tough.
It's definitely.
Pepper Jack says he's excited for Godfall. I don't think I've heard of that one. And thanks for the follow, Hoffy. Appreciate you. Alpha, have you heard of Godfall?
No, of course I've heard of Godfall.
Well,
Am I excited about Godfall? No, not really.
Can you explain
it's your
it a little?
hack and slash. You can wear different types of armors and everything, and depending on how far you go into the game, you'll have different weapons that you can use, different armors. It's pretty. It's going to be something that's going to take, I would say, a lot of advantage of the power of the PlayStation 5 because it is coming out on the PlayStation 5. Now, whether or not it's going to be good, it looks very, very linear and looks very, very repetitive. You might have different enemies and everything, but you're going to hit this thing here, hit that thing over there, and then go do it all over again. I haven't had any mentions of any DLC or anything like that, but honestly, trailers that I've seen right now, I'm going to give it probably like a 6.5 just from what I've seen.
Sounds like a God of War rehash.
Yeah, it's like, even needs his soundboard out now.
Right?
Literally was going to it right there. I was like, damn, I should have already had that prepped.
Son of a bitch.
There we go.
I've let you all down.
There it is. There it is.
go.
We needed it. So here's another nice little weird story for you. So there were some hackers that were arrested for hacking the Nintendo Switch. They were hacking Nintendo Switches. One of the hackers' names was Max Leorna. The other hacker's name was Gary Bowser. So basically, Bowser got in trouble for hacking Nintendo.
It just, you got a Monopoly get out of jail free card right there. Slap on the wrist, go, you're fine, don't do it again.
Oh, man. That's that free marketing we're talking about right there. You exploit that. You turn that into a commercial.
Right. Give him a Bowser mask and just let him go to town. Pepper says it's basically Melee Warframe. He said there will be DLC.
Yeah. Interesting. More money.
6.8.
Right. 6.8. I gave him another half a point.
Next thing, I don't know if anybody else knows, but the president of Nintendo of America, his name is actually David Bowser.
Oh yeah,
Bowser.
yeah. Which is, how could you have?
You reckon they made him the president purely on that fact?
Right.
Look, you're a great intern and everything, but we'd like to offer you the president role.
He was actually. Oh wait, no, it's not David. It's Doug. Sorry, Doug Bowser.
Doug Bowser.
He's actually pretty far up there. So he was not the janitor or anything like that. But Reggie fills him. Reggie fills aim, something like that. Reggie. He was the president. He stepped down. He actually became the part of the board of directors for GameStop. And he is also on the board of directors for a yacht company now. So he's working his way just all around the world.
Nice.
More useless knowledge for everybody.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Hey, it's not useless, man. It's all good stuff. The Atari VCS is coming out. Basically, just a PC that runs Linux. It really leans into the retro style. Apparently, they've made it out of little plastic ribs to make it look like an old school Atari. It's going to be $389. I mean, there's really not much there to that one. It's an Atari console because everybody's been asking for it.
You could spend fucking $25 and get a Raspberry Pi and put your own emulation machine on that,
Yeah.
Whether or not you want $300 for the name of having an Atari console.
I do believe there is something to that, and I just need some assistance with this noob. That sound bite that you hit, can you go ahead and hit it again? Perfect.
That's the Atari's releasing a console sound.
Yeah. Haven't they gone bankrupt like 6 times and restarted again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like it's.
They've shot themselves in the foot a bunch.
All you're gonna get is just nostalgic people that have too much money and want to buy it to have the console. I mean, that's my opinion, of course, but
and not really even that many, because a lot of the people that are, that were playing Ataris when they were popular, aren't really in the gaming sphere and probably wouldn't even know that there's another Atari coming out.
and it's not like they're going to be releasing more games for it going down the track anyways.
Yeah.
Like it's a one and done way of getting some money off the Atari name. Yeah.
Oof. Anything.
Right.
So I mean, like, I love Atari. All right, I love Atari.
Oh yeah, you love. I mean, everybody loves Atari. They were the forerunners. You know what I mean? But like, what are you doing now? You know, you've got games that look like absolute pieces of art, and then I'm supposed to go back to these like just dots and dashes on a screen. Like, fuck that.
Some people, that's absolute pieces of art.
I want to play some ET. Leave me alone.
You would pick the absolute worst example.
What land show do I have to go to again?
You'll never beat it.
I want to be one with my normies.
It's been patched. They came out with a day one patch.
It's not downloadable or anything. It doesn't have internet access. You actually have to mail the company, and they'll send you.
They'll patch it.
They'll send you a little stick.
You try this doggle here.
They'll send you a 3.5 floppy that you just stick in the bottom of it. I think I'm just gonna throw this out here, but what we just did with Atari, I think, is going to be the exact same response to anybody that's going to be coming into the gaming market with another console. If you're not Nintendo, if you're not PC, PlayStation, Xbox, get the fuck out. Google Stadia, I thought the same thing. Atari, if Sega comes out with anything, they have their competition, and I don't think anybody really can stick their foot in there unless they're extremely cheap and can do the same thing, or loads and loads better at the same price point.
I mean, to that extent, do you think that there are companies that are trying to weasel their way in? Like Facebook with that Oculus, like you have to be logged in. Maybe they're trying to branch into that, Oculus as a whole gaming system, ecosystem. Like if you're not a big name already, I mean, yeah, who knows?
I think Facebook's seen how little the game industry is regulated, and they're like, we need to get in that. That's a Wild West right there. We need to get in there. We need to get as much money as we can before they start getting crazy with all the regulations and stuff.
Well, and the Facebook also has two things going for them. They have the name and they have the populace. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's why Facebook gaming was able to just be so successful so quickly. I mean, I personally still prefer Twitch myself, but it's if you go into it, you already have an audience the moment you start. Where Twitch, you have to start building your audience from different sources, where you literally have how many people following you already on Facebook? That is your audience right off the bat. How many of them actually watch you? That's a different story. And it's the same thing. That's why they picked up the VR. And that's why if they did decide to do a console, there's an audience for that, because they already have ready marketing of millions and millions of people. All they got to do is put their ads up on their own, their own program.
And it's not costing them anything to do that as well.
Nothing. So they're saving mad amounts of money on advertising right there. So, I mean, if anybody would try to do it and could do it, it would be them. And if they paired up with somebody like Sega or Atari, then I could see it maybe working in that sense. But Sega, I mean, you're already making your profit off of making games. That's what you've been doing for years and years and years. There's no reason why you need to step away from that. I mean, unless you really, really want to do it. Atari, if they were to, they work together and they use the Atari name, that's a different story. I could see it happening if that was the direction it was going to go. But I don't see Facebook actually using something like Atari as a name because, well, who's going back in time?
Well, and I mean, Atari's so clinging so hard to their previous, the nostalgia, that they'll never let it go, and they'll never let it go enough to just advance and start making new style consoles that do new style stuff and new style games. They're going to keep continuing to try and plug this retro gaming into a market that's just not receptive to it.
Man, I'll play a Tiger handheld before I play another Atari.
Tiger handheld, hell yeah, dude.
I think I saw those.
Dude, I used to have a Tiger handheld of Metal Gear Solid, dude, and it was the best game ever.
And nobody's being aged around here, folks, so let's move on.
I'm not going to comment on that at all.
Google it, son.
Right.
I've got it up right now.
Tiger handheld. What was that? So there was here's some little
I was around for those. Just didn't use them.
There's some little medical news for you. So there was a study. It didn't just come out. It's just now gaining traction. But it came out in I want to say June of 2019 or something like that. Proposing that playing video games as a child can lead to significant cognitive improvement while further developing. So basically, playing games as a child can help with your problem solving, pattern recognition, things like that. I mean these are things we already knew, but
this is a no-brainer. I mean, back in the day, it was, oh my God, it's violence. We got to put a label on it. We got to, but at the same time, the counter was hand-eye coordination. All right. As an educator, I teach multimedia. For remote learning, I use a lot of game-based tools to help with, shapes and typing and sounds, and for the kinder, first, second graders. And they're way more receptive to it because it's visual and it's interactive. The key word is interactive. A teacher can stand up there and draw on a smartboard and chalkboard or whatever it was back in the day, and you're taking it in, but you're not taking it in because a child's mind is wandering. I mean, the rule is a child only sees this much early on, and then as you get older, you start to see this much. Mm-hmm. So when you want to put them in front of something like that and have them participate in that stuff, even it may be video games or educational games, it definitely enhances their learning. Definitely. Just saying.
No, I fully agree with Noob on those points as well. But there's always going to be news articles about video games are bad, video games are good, and doing the research I think is important. And again, Noob hit it on the head, the hand-eye coordination, everything, patterns, everything.
Yay for science.
Alpha, you got any thoughts on this one?
Yay for video games.
Yay for video games.
I'm going to have to disagree with everyone. I'm going to agree with everyone. I mean, come on. Exactly what everybody said.
When Noob hits it on the head, what the fuck are you meant to say?
Right.
I can
Look,
give
I'm
examples.
smart too, okay?
I have a son. He's in virtual learning right now. This is going to be broadcasted forever and ever, and it's going to be on YouTube probably eventually. So I'm not going to smack talk anybody, but there is a chance that there's a teacher that exactly what Noob said, the vision for my son is like this, and somebody, I'm not listening to names. It's everywhere.
Mrs. Mackle in 8th grade.
You can't get their attention, okay? His attention, he has the attention span of a fucking Cocker Spaniel. It's gone. And I can go over there and he's messing with his fingers and everything on the table. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, are you paying attention to your teacher? No. And I completely understand where he's coming from. I wouldn't pay attention either.
Yeah, remote learning is a whole nother beast. And I, as an educator, am getting extremely frustrated with it because I have 20, 30 kids in a classroom, all on a screen, and I'm trying to present something, and at the same time, each one of them already has their own perspective and questions and views and attention spans, all different from each other. And you're trying to focus on this, and then you get the kid freezing up, and then you got this. At the end of the day, the conversations I have with the parents is whatever project we're doing, there is no timetable on that project anymore. Where I would, if we were in the classroom, I would be like, okay, this quarter, this project needs to be done. Boom, done. But now it's because they have to learn concepts. They have to learn how to use this. They have to understand how to use docs, sheets, everything. They understand how to log into Google. They have to understand, a first grader needs to know what their email is now. I mean, it's sensory overload to a whole nother level. The only advantage we do have is we are in the generation where people hand out the iPhones and the iPads to their kids already. So they're way further ahead if we had been stuck in this situation. If we had been stuck in this situation without the stuff they had, we'd have been screwed. But they at least have the cognitive ability because they've been playing games and apps where all these people are always going, I can't believe you have your kid on the iPad at the dinner table. Well, guess what? The kid is not a part of our conversation, which is an adult conversation right now. So those times that we've allowed our kids to do that has actually prepared them somewhat for what we're dealing with now. But at the same time, attention span is still attention span. And every child is limited based off of their age. So as an educator, which unfortunately for that situation is, you have to understand, you can't go, okay, today we're going to be doing this and tomorrow we're going to be doing this. You're going to have to be like, okay, today we're going to focus on this. And we're literally going to spend the next 3 weeks or more trying to get this down 100%, which unfortunately puts us backwards. But that's the adjustment we make, because the reality is kids aren't going to get enough because of remote learning. And that's just it is. And this is the vid world we live in. Okay, so anyways.
That's my TED talk.
Rant over.
And do you need the 31st student? Okay, because
I was gonna say, your way. I'll just send you the link.
Let's see, what else do we got? We've got the Anthem revamp. Do you guys think it's gonna save Anthem? Do you think they screwed the pooch and can't recover, or do you think they're apparently they're gonna revamp it? It's gonna be a lot more Destiny-esque, which is just another way to say they're pretty much copying Destiny. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a game that's able to be saved, like a la No Man's Sky? How they kind of came back, because No Man's Sky killed it.
I mean, before we go, we'll start with No Man's Sky. Let's be honest. No Man's Sky came out so bad that you could have done anything to it to make it better. Okay. And that was the thing. And I'm a big sci-fi gamer. I love Elite Dangerous. I'm almost willing to invest in Star Citizen. That game came out so boo-boo that when they released the next update, you couldn't screw it up. You couldn't make it any worse. And that's the thing. So, I mean, that was the advantage they had. So that's my side of that.
Well, to their credit, though, they could have just let it flop. They could have just been like, well, let's try again on something else. But they kind of put their nose to the grindstone
there was still a base. There was still a base, and there was still a strong. I mean, everybody said they liked it, but everybody also expressed exactly what was the problem. And I mean, when you already see you're already getting a good vibe, and you realize that you fucked up, but that vibe was still there, then it's definitely a motivating force to keep pushing onto it. I mean, and also, I mean, it is a good game. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the concept was good. They just needed to implement it better. And that's what they did. They were like, okay, yep, we did fuck up, and we know we can do it better. Let's do it better.
Right.
I think with No Man's Sky, two things saved it. Other than it being a good game and everything, I didn't get to play it, but how soon they updated it and the frequency of the updates. Anthem, when it was dead in the water and everything when it first came out, it was a beautiful game. Mm-hmm. It had great gunplay. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really smooth. The only thing is that after like level 10, you're doing the same thing over and over again. And we have the same attention spans, I think, with video games that our kids do with literally anything. We do not have an attention span. We are spoon-fed so many updates from so many different games that is something that we expect now. And if we're not getting that, we move on to something else that will give us that. Same with, we were talking about loot boxes earlier. That high that you get, that dopamine that you hit when you get something that you really like and is really good, we get that with updates as well. So if Anthem, I don't think it's the revamp. I think it's the state of the updates that they do and the frequency of them.
I mean, that's why we have DLCs in a lot of games too. I mean, it's the whole purpose of DLC is to keep you interested in that particular game. I mean, Warcraft has been around for a long time, World of Warcraft, and it's because the DLCs they put out, even if it's not a decent one, it's enough to everybody still has to come back and play it to see. And if it's a good one, they play it all the way through. And then it's just about timing and spacing it. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Anthem, I played it for a week and then I was done. It was, and I'm glad I got it free because I joined up with EA and their little special something. So I had no guilt whatsoever. Nothing in the fight. So, but it's still not good enough to keep me around.
I don't want to talk about how much I spent on Anthem.
When the revamp comes out, I will play it again.
Yeah. I did the whole pre-order thing, and dude, Anthem is the reason why I don't do pre-orders anymore, because Anthem I pre-ordered Anthem and I was all set for it and I was hyped and I got it and I played the campaign, and like 10 minutes later I was like, okay, well, I'm done with the campaign. Fuck this game. Because it's all the same shit rehashed over and over and over and over and over again. Same with just like Marvel Avengers. I'm so mad. I am so mad at myself for spending money on that game. Oh my God. I could kick myself.
Sometimes the hype is enough to get you there. I mean, I did it with the Cold War. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you drink the Kool-Aid. And then sometimes the Kool-Aid ain't quite as good as you thought it was. And then you're freaking in Jonestown dead. So, you know, it is what it is. Start drinking the Kool-Aid and now you're eating the Soylent Green, you know? And
Look, I was excited for Avengers, and yeah, I agree. Let down.
Well, yeah, you're one of the main characters and everything.
Yeah,
right.
I voiced Thor,
dude. So obviously they didn't send you your residuals.
They didn't. They promised me $1 million in it.
So they had to cover your royalties. So that's why we have such a shitty loot system.
That's exactly why.
Monetization system.
I'm ready for some more subs, bro.
Right.
I'm doing a week on, week off, dude. Come on, gotta get used to it by now.
We got a new sub from Vito. Vito, I appreciate you.
Vito,
it's about time, Vito.
God damn it, Vito.
Killer Clown, what's up, dude? Pepperjack says it's a beautiful game, but the mechanics are oof. That is fucking summary of the year, bro.
Words straight out of my mouth.
Let's see some little news here and there. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit's getting a remaster November 6th.
Don't care.
Actually,
it's gotta be
Underground for me.
Most Wanted.
Oh, Underground was it for me, dude. Fucking Need for Speed Underground.
Underground was dope. I like the
awesome.
customization options in Underground.
Yeah,
there was a lot of customization in that one.
Did you guys not play Most Wanted?
No, I played Most Wanted, but Underground was like the one that drew me to the franchise, I guess.
Yeah.
I just fucking love the shit out of it.
Samesies. Yeah. Tetris Effect Connected. Getting released with the Series X. I told you the little bits of news here and there.
Okay, we can expand that news if you'd like.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So you just said Tetris. I'm sorry. What was that? Tetris Effects
Connected.
Canada. Okay. You just said that this game was going to be released with the Xbox Series X. You know what else is going to be released with the Xbox Series X?
What's that?
Xbox One games. Are there any exclusives coming out for the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X? I'm sorry. It's going to take a year for me to...
That's the reason why it's not there. I mean, as a machine, it's a monster. It is basically a console computer. I mean, it's a PC. I mean, but I actually tested out the original Xbox. I was a video game tester for Xbox. when I lived up in Washington, and they were set up as consoles. They were consoles. I mean PC cases and setups and stuff, and then they just put it inside the console box, and they were like, "Here's your Xbox." So they're sticking to the same thing. It is literally the same thing. So, I mean, until they put exclusives out there, unless you're a fanboy, you have no business getting it. You might as well just go build your own PC, have total control over your setup, be able to upgrade it as you choose and how you want, and then
buy a controller if you
if you want it. And you know what? And then still have your little Sony PlayStation running around for the exclusives that are worth playing, which we know is a ridiculous amount compared to the Xbox. I mean, the only reason why I had an Xbox was Halo and Mass Effect. That was it.
Yeah, and now they get that on the computer.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, Xbox has got a monster machine that just doesn't have the product to back it.
And that was one of the problems with the Xbox One. You know, they lost a lot of exclusives, and that's one of the reasons why they started buying all these game companies so they could start having exclusives. No, that does not include Bethesda. Bethesda is not going to be a fucking exclusive for the Xbox Series S or X.
Yeah.
No, they're going to wait. They're going to bide their time because they
Yeah,
know there would be
wouldn't
too much
compare for us.
backlash.
Yeah. Give it a few years.
But Pepperjack hits on a good point. You can play games. You can play Xbox games on your PC, and I think that's a lot of the reason they know that that's where it's going. They know that people are going to want to buy a PC rather than buy an Xbox, and they're going to be so that they can upgrade it as they go and do what they want to do. And so they're like, we need to expand into that space now, before we end up losing our asses on another console.
You could just say it's their way of entering the pre-built market, you know. Soon there'll be PCs by Xbox or whatever. Xbox PCs, and they can give it to you at the price that they're giving it to.
Which is a smart play on their part because I mean that's where you should go with it if you want to turn a profit. I mean, Sony's got the market cornered because of the exclusives alone, and it's the PlayStation's been around since day one. I mean, it's the console, so they have the name, and they got the games to back it. So,
and I mean, honestly, it would even be a good play for Microsoft to just back off of the console market altogether and go straight for PC and just let PlayStation have it. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get some residuals here and there, continuing support for the the latest version, but at some point, consoles are gonna be a thing of the past.
And on top of that, freaking make your money off of Halo a different way. Stop trying to make it off the video game and start releasing that goddamn TV series for all of us, or the movie that we've been waiting for the past 30 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, stop arguing and coming up with all this excuses and just get it out there. You will make your money back. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for the audience, Noob is not bitter. He is not bitter at all. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm pretty sure earlier I did see a noisy cricket come out of the pot.
Right, he's twirling it. Look at him. Look at him.
I was twirling it.
There he goes, fingering his cricket again.
Bill Gates didn't want to build the Xbox. He thought it was going to be a failure. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but when the Xbox One first came out, they were actually talking about making it modular so it's more like a PC. You could upgrade the video card, you could upgrade all of that stuff. With the PlayStation 5 and the Series S and the X, with having the expandable SSD storage, they might be heading that way. It'd be a less limiting computer. And I like consoles because I'm not going to get in trouble with it. I put my game in and I'm done. I can stream TV. On a computer, I'm always trying to mod my game so I can have fucking Thomas the Tank Engine in Skyrim. I get in trouble.
In Skyrim,
I get in trouble with computers.
Yeah, it's valid points.
Well, and with you talking about having it modular, I think when Xbox One came out, modular was a very huge buzzword in Silicon Valley in the electronic sphere, because I remember Motorola was going to make a modular phone, so you have a cell phone that has a base plate basically, and you can just click on a different battery or a different camera or a bigger screen or a smaller screen or whatever you want to do, and click on these different modules, and they would all work together. And then they had an idea that you were going to be able to have like a vending machine where you could just sell those modules, and you could go up, put your credit card in, buy a new camera, slap it on there, and go. But that never came to fruition.
Sort of getting back to that now with Apple's fucking MagSafe 2 on the iPhones, where you can have your attachments on the back. I mean, it's less, but it's still.
I mean, it's a phenomenal idea and on paper and in concept, but it's just
execution.
not. Execution.
Cost
it's
effective.
Not exactly. It's too much. For we all love upgrading. I mean, that's why we spend money in video games, so that way we can get new custom skins and this and that, and new custom that. So if you do it in the video game sphere, you're definitely going to do it, especially with phones and stuff like that. But with the consoles, it's tricky because you're already. I mean, again, you're turning it into a PC. So why am I not getting a PC? Outside of the fact that Alpha made a great point where I can just plug and play. I don't have to worry about having to get into trouble. I don't have to worry about trouble finding me unless somebody hacks actual Sony and gets my credit card information that way. I'm not getting, I'm not worrying about viruses. I'm not, there's so many things. And, I don't have to worry about getting online and looking up or using it for any special other occasions. It's just a console.
Right. I guess
just a console.
We needed the zoom in camera there.
Right.
I gotta figure out how I can make that work with the zoom.
And it doesn't surprise me at all that Apple is doing that. I mean, that's what they do. They take other people's ideas and then they make them.
They make them work.
They make them work. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with their own version of Google Glass. I'm sure they've got Apple fucking eye specs or something.
So there was that news article the other day, because of like the antitrust laws in EU and shit like that. Like Google pays them money for them to be the search engine on Apple phones, so they're getting under fire for that in the EU. So they're talking about trying to make their own search engine now. Like yeah. Which would be interesting.
Vito says PC Master Race. Vito, you get back in your cage.
Real quick as well.
He's your senior, man. You gotta respect him.
Hey. Maybe in the mod space, but
this is my channel,
but in real life, this is my channel.
Apple did. She'll take it over. She took over Noobs.
I know.
I'm dead to the world.
The cell phone and the consoles being modular, it wasn't receptive to public, and I think that's mostly because of people don't like to upgrade their physical components. They want something altogether brand new. They don't want DLC for the consoles.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense.
I mean, I love the fact that the PlayStation
Pepper.
has the M.2 slot now, rather than just your standard hard drive bay or SSD bay. I love the upgradability of things, but that's me.
That doesn't work on day one.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. I just reading the article there, and I was like, do I bring it up? Or...
We have a nice day zero patch for that, or let's see. Best Buy said they're gonna have PS5s in stock for Black Friday. But I heard GameStop will too, won't they?
There's what? There's still GameStops out there? Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, noob. Whoa.
That's
no shade over here.
works.
Hey, trust me. I literally was on TikTok the other day, and someone had posted that they had walked into the last Blockbuster that is left somewhere in Oregon or something like that. And I did, and I worked at both Hollywood and Blockbuster, so I understand the process of things that just go to the waste.
That is insane.
I muted myself on purpose.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold up. Noob went silent. I need to hear this stuff.
It's just because everything's going digital more than anything else. I mean, and that was the same reason why Blockbusters went out, because first it was Redbox and Netflix, and then now everything's digital, and unfortunately that's going to be the next logical destination for places like GameStop. And I mean, because the people aren't going to be turning in video games anymore for trade-ins, and the business model is becoming more obsolete, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
it's just
You are absolutely correct.
yeah.
And
And now
I
Apple's
am-
like, if anyone has a job, I'll take it.
no, like I like we could probably go in with a whole another hour-long podcast and everything of just me talking about GameStop. I don't know if they would like that or anything, but there are the things that are happening to try to circumvent stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're coming from. I know what you're saying. It's something that I read and look at myself all the time. So it's going to personally affect me. So I have to know what's going on.
Of course.
But yes, the answer to your initial question was you can go to GameStop and get a PlayStation 5.
Nice.
Not in Australia, dude. I told you.
Oh, yeah.
We have no fucking stock.
And actually, PlayStation 5s, guys, you heard it here first, probably.
Uh-oh.
Anybody listening right now?
I
PlayStation
don't work at
5s.
GameStop.
I don't work at GameStop. This is a mask that I'm wearing. PlayStation 5s are going to be orderable online at 11 p.m. CST, November 10th.
Nice.
Thanks for that, brother. I appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're smart, you just go ahead and start building a PC now and save yourself some money in the long run. Have a good day.
And pay attention to those special things that New was talking about earlier.
You're right.
Hey, ambidextrous, baby.
Game speed, switching hands. Oh wait,
So for our
wrong
final
podcast.
We spoke about this yesterday. It's the double fisted.
And we've swung it to the other side.
Where'd the couch go?
So
Where'd the
switching
couch go?
lanes. So for our final topic,
And open the camera and
after laying off 800 people last year, Blizzard is now hiring. Said that they are now going to be hiring 2,000 new employees over the next year. All while what is his name? Bobby Kotick is still like the highest paid CEO in the games industry, still getting massive kickbacks, massive bonuses. And I think that he came under a lot of fire for that. And I think that's a lot of the reason why they're restructuring things a little bit and getting more employees in so that they can redistribute that money a little bit and take some of the heat off of him for a little while. I think that's my take on it. What about you guys?
Strictly a PR move.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. You don't kick 800 people out of your company and hire 2,000 more unless those 800 people were just absolute shite.
Well, to clarify, the 800 people that were laid off were mostly administrative and like secretarial people,
and the 2,000,
whereas the 2,000 are going to be game developers and programmers, things like that.
that's a lot of people to hire for
Yeah,
Then they
it
must
is.
have,
purely that.
and maybe they've got big plans. Big plans.
Yeah,
They
but
could be making their own console.
Still-
You
Right.
heard it here first, guys. We have the COD
November
console.
10th at 11 CST, you can hire a Blizzard console.
Well, we have the
Facebook
console
and
coming
Blizzard,
out, guys.
Partnered up.
They're coming out. They're coming out with the Blizzard Blizz console,
Yeah.
the Blizz box.
I think it depends on, is this 2,000 employees for Activision and Blizzard together? Are they going into new IPs? Are they 2,000 people? That's a lot of people for the work demand that they have right now.
Yeah.
How many games does Activision Blizzard release? You have World of Warcraft expansions, you have the new Diablo 4 coming out, you have the Diablo mobile game that's not even being made by Activision Blizzard, it's made by a Chinese company, and you have Call of Duty. How many other ones are there? There's
Just give me a StarCraft already.
I mean, they're kind of limping along on Call of Duty, honestly. Like, That's where the majority of their income is coming from.
I mean,
I
So
would
the
throw it at
revenue.
WoW, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
WoW
I
would
th-
make a lot of money, but for a short amount of time, you'd think COD, right? Like that initial 3-month release, that's where the predominant revenue is going to come from.
You have how many subscribers every month? $15 a month. You know, you got that. You got in-game stuff for a while, and I'm not saying Call of Duty isn't raking in money. Obviously, it is, because they keep on throwing out fucking battle passes.
Yeah. And I mean, Call of Duty is their GTA 5. Like they're gonna keep it going forever. I mean, don't get me started on GTA 5. Fuck that game, dude. Like,
speaking of modding,
right? Yeah. Oh, I mean, dude, when I saw the what was it, the PS5 release trailer, and it had GTA 5, dude, my heart hurt. It hurt so much. I was like, no, not this game. Kill it. Somebody kill it with fire. It was hard to take, dude. It was a hard pill to swallow. I was like, God damn it. They are just never going to let this shit die. Because
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because I was a huge fan of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I thought that was an awesome game, and they just didn't even give a shit about it. It was their redheaded stepchild. They were just like, this is our prized kid, this is our baby boy, and I don't know, we'll throw some shit at this dude for a little bit, you know, we'll throw some food in the corner.
They
for
really
this
fucked
motherfucker.
up on that.
And
see, we shouldn't have brought this up, Noob Storm, because you guys aren't aware of this. But after the podcast, I'm gonna have to call a tripod and everything. I'm gonna have to we're gonna have a little sit down so you can fucking cry and everything. This isn't the first time this has happened,
dude.
I'm a support group right now.
I will cry with you, man.
If we just want to have a Zoom call after this, just for the support,
just
Redemption 2 support group, we can do this, okay?
Yeah,
I will be your shoulders.
What the craziest thing about GTA is it's also the user base that has carried it so long too, with the mods and with the what can I think of it right now, the role play. I mean, and that's why it's had the staying power that it's had, because it's still, even with them not throwing money into it, it's carried itself on its own because the user base has just kept adding to it. So I mean, it may be the devil, but it's a devil that takes care of itself really, really well.
it's the devil we know.
Yeah, it's the COVID of gaming. It just keeps on fucking spreading.
It just won't stop, and nobody has an antidote.
It was like 40 years from now. This is your next gen game for the PlayStation 10.
GTA 5, GTA Online. We're coming out with a new heist, guys.
I mean, that brings it back too. Do you think Grand Theft Auto 5 updates kept it updated enough to keep people's interest?
I mean, you would say no for most normal gamers, but for that community, yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's probably purely for the fact that there was a next gen console coming out, you know, and those people want to keep getting that experience, and it's easier for them to have it on PlayStation. They didn't need to do a whole lot of updates to keep that player base there.
And at the same time, everybody could do the exact same thing that Grand Theft Auto 5 did.
Yeah, exactly.
There are 10 games on the PlayStation 4 that you cannot play on the PlayStation 5.
Right.
Any game could say exactly what Grand Theft Auto did, but Grand Theft Auto, they just had that advertisement.
Well, and then they've got that army of kids that just loves to shoot rockets at everything.
Shoot rockets and be, superheroes, turning everything into animals, and yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
I do that every day, mate.
Oh yeah, that's just Australia way of life. Like that's
how we live. Every kangaroo by the tail, and
that's why I'm staying here.
If I want to do something like that, I would have played the better game, Saints Row 4. I mean,
Saints Row, it's a straight comedy too. It's
that was one of the things I loved about Saints Row, is it did not take itself seriously. Like like
dubstep gun.
Yeah. It knew what it was trying to be, and it was gonna have fun with it. I love that.
And it knew that's why it was able to not, it didn't have to compete against GTA because of that right there.
Yeah,
it was literally its own separate thing, even though a lot of people put them side by side at the purchase point, but at the end of the day, once you started playing it, you realized, okay, this is something special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Saints Row 1, Saints Row 2, Grand Theft Auto clone, Saints Row 3 pretty much started going in its own way. Saints Row 4 fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Agents of Mayhem. Oh, sorry.
We don't talk about that.
That's another game that
that's another podcast altogether.
Right there. That's my anthem right there. I love Saints Row 4. Oh my God, Quicksilver. Agents of Mayhem. Oh my fucking God. Now I'm gonna need my support Zoom.
Right.
There goes my stream tonight.
Yeah, exactly, Pepper. It was a parody. Everyone loves a parody. That's for sure.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So I think we're gonna have to wrap it up here. We're right here over the hour mark. I will throw it to you guys. Let everybody know what you're doing. Noob, what you got going on?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I kind of took the wind out of my sails there.
Okay,
Alpha, what do you got going on?
No. We're gonna put it back in there. He has nothing, but we need origin stories. Mr. Noobtacular, you are our guest.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Where did Mr. Noobtacular come from?
My publicist specifically said I needed green M&Ms in the green room. There were no green M&Ms.
You are in the green room. It's your room.
Yeah, it's up to you, dude.
Oh my God, you guys don't have enough time for an origin story, man. All right. Abbreviated origin story. I'm a military brat, traveled all over the world, lived in every state on the West Coast, even though I'm an East Coast by heart. Sports fan. I'm a coach. Soccer's my number one. Still play it. Old as shit. I've got a beautiful 15-month-old daughter. Going through some hard times with the ex, dealing with that, but that's life. Love gaming. I am just recently back into gaming because of my life being such an adult life. I stream way later than everybody else on the planet, and I just love these fucking fools that are in this lobby or in this Zoom right now, and that's all that really matters. So
I'm gonna butt in and say I love the fact that he told us his origin story, but we were asking why you're called Mr. Noobtacular.
Yeah, we were just asking about your gamer tag, bro.
So previously on the
I
Tri-Podcast,
fucking love it.
learned about Pounded Badge.
Like, well, I'm a Cancer. I like long walks on the beach and quiet nights by the fireside.
I'm looking for a lovely lady.
and see, now they have a reason to come back for the next episode.
Nice.
Specifics, motherfucker. I speak in specifics.
I was like hoping that was like the entire being a military man. They called me a noob. So. I was waiting for it.
And then when I was working at Chippendales, I went by the name of Mr. Spectacular, and I just just smashed
I
them
got
together.
fired for being bad, so Mr. Noobtacular.
I just want to know, did Tripod finally admit to being a tripod? That's all I want to really know.
He told us. Oh, I've got the full story somewhere. Here we go. Story time. If we have like 5 minutes. So on Guru's stream, we wrote the story for how he became Nameless Tripod.
This narration's gonna be great.
I don't want to read it out. So I wrote one line, he wrote one line until we got to the end. Alrighty, so the Nameless Tripod. There once was a young tripod who at the time was currently nameless. He searched far and wide for a name that would suit his massive ego. Full of pride and hope in his eye, the young yet still nameless tripod turned on his Xbox with a hint of desperation. Xbox thought long and hard computing variables and algorithms. And it was at that time, late in the night, smashing through all the suggestions, that he was losing his hope. Could there be a Microsoft miracle coming around the corner? Suddenly, he saw them two names fit only for the most majestic, Nameless Tripod and Pounded Badge. Edging closer to Pounded Badge, there was something big and deep inside, leading him to the Nameless Tripod. Throbbing with excitement, he had to physically tear himself away from the Pounded Badge and take the Nameless Tripod name into his own hands. What could have been, we'll never know, but Pounded Badge is now but a dream. The Nameless Tripod has found his name. The end.
the fact that you saved that shit.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking beautiful. It was heart wrenching.
And it was through the whole chat. There was like other people
my
in between and all this, dude.
That's great shit. I'm
That was
dying.
amazing.
I
That
just
was-
died. Oh my
that
god. Oh my god.
I was slightly saying, "What is up, dude? You came in on the tail end, sir."
Probably the best part, to be honest.
It's quickly devolving into a shit show.
Shit.
Bravo.
Woo.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll bow for that.
I was when I first did my Xbox account back.
Yeah, if you didn't know from the story.
Yeah. Just to clarify, just to add a little more lore to the background.
Tripod pitches tents. Okay,
when I was-
we're done.
And not just any tents, circus tents. When I was signing up for Xbox Live on 360, they have the name suggestion thing or whatever, and it suggested like 4 or 5 different names, but the top 2 were Nameless Tripod and Pounded Badge, and I was like, well, I don't want to be known as Pounded Badge. So I picked Nameless Tripod. And that was it.
I think his version was way better. We're gonna roll with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
His is canon. His is canon.
Everyone
Mine
stare
is.
at the light, and we're gonna go ahead and just remember it the way it was.
Yeah. Stormeo's is canon. Mine's been retconned.
And don't forget, you like purple Kool-Aid.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
Oh, boys.
Oh god, you
Oh,
better
It's just-
it now.
Let's
Stormeo,
respect.
tell the peeps what you got going on. You got anything you're doing anything going on? You want people to tune in for? When's your first
tune in
stream?
To Mr. Noobtacular, and you'll see me bounce up every now and then.
All right.
First stream, good question. Probably like 2 weeks. Who knows? Noob will hold me to it one day.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna hold you to it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. We look forward
We've got
to
everything
it.
ready to go. I just, yeah, who knows?
We'll get you in one of Guru's classes. We'll get you affiliated real fast.
Only $9.95 and 10 easy payments.
Yeah,
Right,
I'll be
yeah.
the one paid customer.
Well, no, it's
Everyone else
10
is free, but-
It's 10
but
easy
the store.
payments. Yeah, it's 9 easy payments of $9.99 and one really hard payment of $250.
But you get a bonus shake weight.
Right. Autographed, even monogrammed.
With her
An
sweat on her.
autograph shake weight. Oh, dude.
Gamer girl shake weight sweat.
Yeah, there it is. Going the Belle Delphine route. Alpha, what do you got scheduled? What do you got? Tell the people what you got going on.
Oh God, my schedule is non-existent, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I am trying to start a schedule. Unfortunately, I don't know what to play. It's probably gonna be some Rogue Company. I got back into Dark Souls 3 because I'm a slut and I want people to beat my ass. And I really
Damn.
want to play some Risk of Rain 2. I love Risk of Rain 2. It's really, really awesome game. I'm gonna play that at least one time. I was doing a horror series for Alien Isolation. But it's not October anymore, so fuck that shit.
Get back into the war zone, brother.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
dude. We gotta play a match of Warzone tonight, Alpha, before you go to bed.
We have to.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just getting on, so it'd be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before zombies takes all of the spots.
Yeah,
Mhm.
before he starts getting his TikTok content
Right,
at our
right.
expense.
Yeah, we'll just hold you to one match. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for a marathon tonight or anything. Although,
Next minute, 3 a.m. in the morning.
this I'm not gonna lie, this might be a 6 a.m. night, so just
hey,
brace yourself.
I'm always there, man.
So Alpha, you can catch us on the beginning, and then when you wake up, we'll be still there ready for you.
Yeah. We're ready for the next match. Yeah.
So that's how you gotta promote yourself in a nice sultry voice. I'm there for you when you go to bed, and I'm there for you when you wake up.
None of us could pull that off like you just did.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
Matter
even
of
my radio voice
I need
isn't
to
like
go
that.
turn my PC on right now.
My tripod is definitely extended.
I'm clipping that.
The circus animals are moving in.
Yep. The clowns are tumbling. The elephants are leading the parade. Woo. All right, and then for myself, as usual, Monday, Wednesday, Saturdays. So I'll be back again tomorrow doing some games and some gameplay and stuff like that. And every Friday we're doing the podcast, talking games and stuff like that. You never know. I kind of like these guys. I might ask them to come back again. You never know.
I don't know if it's in the budget tripod. We're really gonna have to discuss this. Okay, I'm looking at the books right now, and green M&Ms.
Listen,
Just give
I
me
know
my
Noob's
green
agent.
M&Ms.
I'll talk to him. All right, we'll see if he'll take a lower price. This is something we should discuss off stream.
The first one's a freebie, man, but definitely goes for about $1,200 an hour.
Well, it wouldn't have been so bad. It wouldn't have hit the budget so hard, but Noob insisted on having a little person to serve him drinks all night. So, I mean,
You haven't seen that head just bounce by, guys?
yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was kind of wondering about that. I thought it was in the Zoom meeting. I thought you put that stuff in the background. Jesus Christ, dude. How much was that tripod? Oh, my God.
That was $30,000.
This is the last podcast that we're ever going to be able to make, boys.
Yep, that's it.
We're done.
Series
It's been
done.
great.
Series done.
Hold on. Someone's knocking on my door right now.
This is Dave from accounting. All right, guys. Say goodbye, everybody.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
You too,
Bye.
all of you.
And then, wait, hold up. Stormy, what was the catchphrase? Tripod. I can't remember it.
Oh, yeah. What was the
couch.
catchphrase?
It was casting couch, something
I'll
like that.
see you next time on the casting couch or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you next Friday on the casting couch.
I'm gonna go take
All
a
new
nap
casting.
right now.
Same old couch.
Yeah, no, I got your nerve. Here you go.
He disappeared.
I'm gonna fucking back up. Jesus Christ.
Ninja vanish. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week right here. Same pod time, same pod channel. Peace out.
Peace out. Cheers, boys.
Peace.